Hey guys, it's me, James John from Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. Now we got a great show. We're going to be talking about nurses who cheat on an exam. No worries, right? Then we're going to be talking about a teacher who drank White Claw in the classroom and let all the teachers and students take pictures of it. What could go wrong there? So join us right now on a brand new episode.
Hey, everybody. Brand new episode of Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. I'm Devin Siebold. Got my good buddy, Mr. James John. He's the co-host. He's also got his own TV show. If you haven't watched it yet, The Lowdown on Comcast, right?
Xfinity Comcast. The channel is Afro.
Yeah, and I've been on there. It's a great show. You should tune in. Also, don't forget to rate this podcast 5 stars. Share it with all your friends and family. And also, hopefully, you can follow us on tour. I'm on the Board Teachers Tour right now, and hopefully, we're hitting up some cities near you, and I can see some of you in person, make some new friends.
Which is nice.
Now, James and I actually used to have a radio show together. You still do the radio show.
I still do the radio,
and
yeah.
I used to do the radio show as well. We were the original founders of it.
We are.
And it was called Real Laughs out of Orlando. Now, one of the things that we would do sometimes on Real Laughs is something that I'd like to talk about right now.
Okay.
And we would do on Real Laughs a Throwback Thursday.
Ooh.
Now, this is the thing. It's Tuesday. That's the day our episode drops. So we're going to do Throwback Tuesday today.
I'll take it.
And this is a teacher edition. So I know you all were in school. James, when did you graduate high school?
94.
94. Okay, so you were actually right on the cusp of this, and I would love to know what it was like for you. We're going to take it back to those days in school where you had a computer day.
Oh.
Now, did you have a computer in the class?
We did, and it was only for special occasions.
Ooh, was it ever?
Yeah.
You had to be special to get your time on that computer.
That's right.
We had one of the Macs. Everybody had the Mac, the old Mac,
that's
you know?
right.
Now, did you have I remember our thing, it was 3rd grade for me, so you had to have been, junior, senior. 3rd grade, we were all about the Trail of Oregon.
Sir.
Oregon Trail. Oh my goodness.
All my facts about Oregon come from that game.
Do they really?
Yes.
Yes, that's all I know. Everybody in Oregon dies of dysentery.
That's
all
pretty
I
much
know.
how it goes. Yeah.
And they have rivers, and
They
sometimes
do.
they don't build bridges. They just ford them. They just go across them.
And they have oxen.
Yes, they have oxen too.
Yeah.
And occasionally you can shoot like a random deer or something that goes across the screen. Do you remember hunting? To me on Oregon Trail was like the epitome of first video game, like an actual video game.
It was, yeah.
Wasn't it not?
It was.
Yeah, I loved that part. But I remember the computer, so I was fortunate to be such a young kid that I saw the evolution. So when I first started, we got our first computer, and I was in 3rd grade, and we got a computer in the classroom. It was the Apple. It was protected. It was,
my gosh.
You had special time. It was right behind me, by the way. So it was like calling out to me the whole time. It was like, Devin.
When we got our computer, my song sounded slightly different.
Oh, yeah?
It sounded like the song from the Little Mermaid. Like it was like, every time.
I want to be where the typing is.
Yes. I want to be on the trail Oregon started.
Dude, I was so into that computer. Like,
I loved it.
And we didn't have one at home. It would be years before we'd have one at home. But it blows my mind to think that schools were once on the cusp of cutting edge technology.
They were, man.
But once upon a time, they were. Now, right now, we have our Inspiron ThinkPad 4000 from 1997 that all the teachers are on.
With Windows 2.
Yes, exactly. There wasn't even a Windows 2. They just that was the education version that they kicked out.
That was it.
Yeah, but I just remember that. Now, I remember it evolved. In 6th grade, we saw the leap where we started to see PCs kind of come in, and then it went back, I remember, to the colored Apple iMacs. Remember those like see-through ones that came out?
Yeah.
That was revolutionary in the school.
It was crazy because you could see through it.
When you got called to the computer lab and walked in there, it was like a Skittles factory. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is it. And then
amazing.
You press on and you sit for 17 minutes waiting for the screen to come up.
But it was the best 17 minutes of your academic life.
You were like, it's at 20%. It's updating.
It's crazy.
I loved it. I thought it was so
did
cool.
I.
And I remember I was one of the first kids to be offered a computer class. We were one of the first generations to be offered a typing. And I remember you had to put your fingers on home and you had to type out certain words per minute. And we had little space things where like the words would come up and you had to type them to destroy the asteroids.
That's right.
Yeah. And then of course, once you were done with that, you lived a life of luxury by playing cosmic pinball.
Oh, not the cosmic pinball.
Do you remember?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, man.
No, I loved it because I had the high score in my school.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
You are very
ultimate high score.
You are very competitive.
Oh, it's super competitive. Yeah. And I remember the only reason that I didn't lose the high score, didn't have a higher score, is the bell rang and she wouldn't let me stay in class and keep playing.
She's like, no, you have to literally go.
Oh man, I was good at that game. But I remember typing games. I remember the pinball game. I remember Minesweeper. I was one of the few that actually learned how to play Minesweeper. Do you know how to play Minesweeper?
I don't know how to play it, but I've seen it. Nobody.
It's an awesome game when you finally learn how to play it.
It's like people that know how to fold fitted sheets.
Yeah.
It's very rare.
Yeah, it is. But I was really good. Oddly enough, also same danger factor
in
folding fitted sheets.
There you go.
But I enjoyed playing Minesweeper, playing Solitaire. When you hit that last card and they went,
yeah, I remember that.
Oh man, I remember all that. That was so cool. But it was kind of the innocence part of it. You didn't have the social media. You were actually learning how to do these things for the future, for your job. Now I'm an efficient typer. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm not an efficient pinball player, but I don't think I learned anything beyond that. I learned how to edit, documents a little bit, save things, but I remember the computer day when our teacher said computer class. Oh my goodness.
We lost our minds.
Lost your mind.
The computer was this piece of technology that seemed unattainable in real life. So we were just like, this is the most amazing thing we've ever got to play with.
Right.
As a kid.
Yeah. And now it's, I remember I would wheel in, we had a mobile computer lab and there were laptops in it. And I would wheel that in and I would think the kids would lose their mind. They didn't.
No.
Their phones are 80 times more powerful.
Yes, they are.
Than the laptops we have. Mm-hmm. They're not as entertained. No. They don't really get into it as much. There was a time, I remember when I taught middle school, that the phones weren't as powerful. And did you ever play, teachers, I hope if you've been teaching for a while, you remember this because I remember it. Did you play Miniclip? There was Miniclip was like a monster truck game. Our producer is shaking his head because he played it.
No,
Miniclip was a little monster truck game, and it wasn't blocked in our school. And you could play the monster truck game. And I remember I would catch my students and be like, hey, you need to, no, we got to get back on track.
Yeah.
And then school would end, and I'd be in there like, and I'd be like, I got to crush this kid's high score.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I loved the Miniclip monster truck game.
I've never seen that.
Oh, man, I got some hours out of that. I mean, I would stay after school, do the things that I needed, and then still stay for another hour on the computer, on the school computer, playing the Miniclip
That's
game.
Funny.
Yeah, that was legit. There was a few educational things on Miniclip too, I remember.
Okay.
But I would always try to get my kids' attention with the computers, and for years it worked. Now it doesn't. I think it's lost its luster.
So there's nothing at schools that they could have now that would wow a kid with technology?
They have iPads. My kids will occasionally get iPads. Some kids, they let them take them home. Some they actually assign you an iPad. I don't think it's got the...
I think I know one thing.
What?
I've read this, and it's not at every school because they're still very expensive, but a 3D printer. That's one thing I think kids will be like, wow, that's kind of impressive.
Yeah. Now, my kids love the Oculus. I would love to see class sets of Oculuses or Oculi. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like octopus, octopi. Yeah,
Oculi.
Yeah.
I'd love to see class sets of that because the virtual reality aspect of it.
Well,
have you been on an Oculus?
I have. It's amazing.
Amazing.
Bro, people don't know the things you can do with those.
Oh, dude.
You can attend an NBA game.
Yeah, I've done it.
It's crazy.
You can sit courtside.
And you're courtside. You look around. It's like you are really there.
Yeah, I went. I watched an UFC fight on there. I put it on, and I walked into Horizons, walked into the movie theater, sat down in the movie theater, and it's literally 3D big screen, and me and other people are chatting about it. And then I remember the one that I loved the most, but I saw the most. I always look for the school potential too. Mm-hmm. There's an app called Vermilion, maybe. I hope I'm saying that right. Vermilion.
I think I've heard of that.
Now, it is amazing because you are sitting in front of an easel and you can paint and you can do all sorts of mediums, but they have a full on, thousands of dollars of paint and brushes and you pull it and you do the different colors and you can actually just sit and quietly just paint a full painting
without needing to go by brushes and canvas and all that stuff. Yeah.
It's
is pretty awesome.
Yeah, the art aspect of it. There's ones where you can color the whole world. That'd be great for kids for learning how to color. I think learning the different colors, learning how to stay in the lines. Absolutely fantastic. If a teacher could monitor it, and see what they're doing, because we had little on our screen, like I could see everybody's computer, which they didn't think I could, and I could send chats, and I'd be like, no.
Nice.
Don't do that. But I think it'd be cool to have everybody monitoring, but there's got to be such an educational thing to put people in. Imagine not having to go on a field trip. You could go to the Louvre, and have them walk through as a class. Ooh. You could walk through a museum together.
And I think you just hit the nail on the head. That's where I think COVID proved it, we're going to start moving towards a more of a computerized system of teaching at some point and learning. So imagine Oculus being used in that kind of way. It'd be amazing. Actually being transported. Imagine learning about World War II in the middle of a battle.
Yeah.
Like actually being in the middle of being able to look around and see generals give certain orders and understand what it looked like to actually be, let's say, in France during that time or England, and you see stuff like that.
I play warplanes. And warplanes, you're in a biplane, and you are shooting down some Nazis, and it is amazing.
Gotcha.
I'm like, and
it feels real. It's immersive.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
But not only the cool factor, the knowledge factor, the experience factor of being it, you can bring it to life. And that's the hardest thing teachers do is try to get attention. But the problem is that school districts and funds are being reactive and not proactive.
Gotcha.
They are not on the cusp of the technology anymore. And I don't know why, but like I said, we had a computer in my class that was state of the art before anybody had them at home.
That's right.
And it was mind blowing,
Yes, it was.
and we learned there, and then the technology made it into our house. I don't know why we can't really go. I guess there's just, to me, it's just like liabilities, and they always say, oh, well, what if he breaks the Oculus? Well, he breaks the Oculus, and we'll get a different Oculus. And these funds need to be where it pays off the most.
I wish I knew how these things work because, let's say software. Like my son, when he was taking a class when he was still in high school, he was taking a graphic artist class, and they gave them free copies of Photoshop. Now, that was done through Adobe. Adobe had some kind of deal with schools where they can download these while they're in the class.
I think they still do.
And they can have all those programs for free. Now, I think it'd be a little bit more challenging when it came to actual hardware and people have to build and there's cost associated with things. But I would happen to think there must be some kind of way to get some kind of grants from these companies that make these things like 3D printers or make these pieces of new technology that the kids will be wowed by and still bring them into the school. There has to be some kind of way.
And the Oculus, though, was $300.
Yes.
Now, I sit there and I go, okay, it's $300. But the amount of money that the school districts pay to bus kids to field trips is a small fortune.
Yes.
If we could save that and the cost of actually, having to pay the drivers to go on the field trips.
Yeah.
You get, instead of having parents chip in $50 to go to, play, we can all sit and watch it on the Oculus and not have to go there and use up time and gas and resources. Might be cool to, like you said, we watched in NBA games.
Yes.
Why can't we watch Into the Woods?
Yeah,
You know?
Why would we not go see
Yeah.
a Broadway play like that? Things like that is, I think, awesome. Why not go to the Smithsonian like we did? We had to travel to DC and actually go to one. We can just put that on and just walk around and see everything that had.
And you know, even with like on the job training and stuff.
Yes.
You know, I've my kids play work simulator.
What?
Have you played it?
I have not.
I love it. It's work simulator. You're at a desk and you're getting copies and you have to grab them and put them in this folder. And there's a little computer talking to you. And he's like, we got to have those details by 7. And you have to like open the file cabinet and my kids are over there frantically working and they're like having a blast because it's scored and timed.
Absolutely.
But really they're just learning capitalism. You know, but honestly though, on the job training, like nursing, surgery, you don't have a cadaver in front of you. You have
That's true.
That kind of
Yeah.
stuff could be very useful.
The hard part is when your one son comes to you, hey, Dad, I had to let my brother go.
You know, he just wasn't cutting it.
Yeah.
You know, or your kid's sitting on the couch and you find out he's collecting an unemployment check. Wait a minute.
Why are you not working? Dad got laid
Oculus
off.
died. I was laid off.
That's funny.
You're not going to believe it. There was an update. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into the teachers and the news. Teachers in the news today, we have some wild ones. First off, a Charlotte County teacher is found with a white claw in the classroom. Let's not do that. A teacher in a high school in Charlotte County, apparently, it was in the classroom. There was a photo that showed a white claw on the table. The photo circulated on social media for a while before somebody pointed it out. And apparently the photo was from a teacher's classroom. The school district has not identified the teacher and said the situation is currently being investigated.
Oh, Devin, let me say this. If you're going to go out as a teacher because you were drinking alcohol, you might want to choose something slightly stronger than a White Claw.
Well, okay, I'm going to defend the teacher here.
Okay.
I'm going on a wild limb.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the teacher's dumb enough to take the White Claw and put it on their desk and drink it out in the open. Mm. I read this one time and people were making fun of it, but like there was a dad that was sipping White Claws in his car and the son was like, hey, what are you doing? You're drinking and driving. And he's like, oh.
No, it's a White Claw.
No, he thought it was just a flavored seltzer.
He's like,
when White Claw first came out, I didn't know that it was hard either.
Yeah.
For the longest time, people were like joking, there's no laws on White Claws. And I'm like, man, that's some good flavor seltzer water. And I didn't know it was alcoholic.
you thought it was like a Celsius?
Yeah, I thought it was like a Celsius
yeah.
or something. There's so many different brand names they go under.
It's so tame.
And I get it, but also black cherry seltzer.
Yeah.
And it says hard seltzer, but there's been times where I see lemonade or root beer, and you're like, oh, root beer. And you look at it and you're like, oh, it's hard root beer.
Yeah.
Okay. Hard, it doesn't, I mean, it means alcoholic now.
Yes, it does.
But that doesn't really mean alcoholic. You know, like it's a hard root beer. You could pick that up and be, uneducated on this and go, oh, it's hard to, it's got to be really intense, like dark.
Yeah.
This is a dark root beer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is
But I don't know. I'm not trying to defend the teacher here, but I know that I laughed at this when I first saw it because that could have been me.
Yes.
I love seltzer water. I could have literally
So do I.
stopped on the way.
I love seltzer water as well. So he probably thought, oh, it's just like a Celsius, right?
Dude, I try so many different seltzer waters,
So do
and
I.
I literally I'll go into Publix and be like, ooh, this one looks good.
And
this one looks good.
They look like White Claw.
They do.
They look like White Claw.
So
yeah.
again, I'm not trying to defend the teacher. Do not drink in front of the kids.
Let us say that. Do not drink.
Do
if you
not
are a
drink
teacher.
at school, in front of the children, anywhere, except at home or in a socializing environment. Mm-hmm. But also, I really want to know their side because I just can't imagine being that brazen to go, hey, kids, how's it going? Everybody right here. Mm-hmm. There's my alcohol. Take your cameras out. Go ahead.
Yeah. Everybody take a picture with it. Gather around.
Unless you really just want it fired.
Yeah, you really want it out of that job.
What? Today's today. Today's today.
Tell me you don't want your job without telling me you don't want your job.
I'll tell you, though, if you really didn't want your job, though, and you wanted to go out that way, I'm no doubt going in straight up Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm going to stand on a desk, hit 2 beers together, down them both and
right after the lesson. That's the bottom line. Because Devin
Stone Cold
so.
said so. Yeah, dude, I mean, if you're going to go all out. All right, this next one, boy, did I think this was a parody headline till I actually read the conversation. How this person gets to continue to be on TV, yet we cancel so many other people for even the smallest little mistake. Fox News host Greg Gutfield bizarrely calls a teacher accused of a relationship, a relationshipping, if you're a fan of the show, that's the word we use, with a 16-year-old student heroic. Now,
what?
Yes, I couldn't believe it. Apparently, there was somebody on Gutfield's show, and they were talking about a teacher accused of sleeping with a 16-year-old student. It was a female teacher, male student. Gutfield said during the segment that he was bothered by the fact that the 38-year-old teacher was arrested and charged. Bothered by the fact that the 38-year-old was charged with sleeping with the 16-year-old. He said, and this is quote, I'm not making these quotes up. I'm sorry, come on, 16 years old? I would have died for that. Again, I'm against, banging kids, but can we live in the real world? I can't believe I'm just reading this, and I was like, no way. And detectives said there may be additional victims, and he said the 16-year-old boy, this is his quote, a 16-year-old boy with a hot teacher. I mean, what was that Van Halen song, Hot for Teacher? That was written about this.
Okay.
Yeah, and then she's the person that is apparently with him says, you're disgusting. Mm-hmm. He responds, am I right to say it's unfair comparison to do the female to male teacher? Like a male teacher, 38 years old, creepy. Female, heroic. We've had this conversation on here.
Yes, we have. I thought of it as soon as you started reading it. Women teachers are treated and looked at different when they do that.
I just don't understand, and I'm not trying to be, I don't. So I'm not trying to say men deserve lesser.
No.
Women deserve more punishment for this instead of being viewed as heroic.
No.
I hate that mentality of where were they when I was a kid? Probably on a watch list somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, this is not something to brag about.
It's not okay.
The teacher's not heroic.
No, it's
Let's
not
stop
all right.
celebrating that. But also, how does he get to continue to have sponsors? How does a show get sponsors when you call a 38-year-old pedophile heroic? Yet, literally the entire basis of the talking points that he encompasses all the time is protect the children.
And you just called that person by the correct term. It's a pedophile.
Yes.
It's a pedophile.
Absolutely.
You're not a hero.
That kind of stuff, I get so mad when I see stuff like that. And then we sit here and we go, these are the people championing for, fighting against teachers. And you're sitting here, I don't know. Yeah, anyways.
No.
All right, moving on. Shorter elementary school days for St. Charles District 303 teacher contract. This is interesting. I've not seen this, but a St. Charles school district has approved a 4-year labor pact with its teachers union that includes gradual raises, good for the teachers, and a shorter elementary school day. They approved it. Apparently, they are shortening the school day by 45 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, 40 minutes, sorry.
Okay.
The elementary day will be 6 hours and 20 minutes. The rest of it, the other schools are 40 minutes. So the daily instruction, this is where I get mad.
Oh, okay.
James. You think to yourself, okay, kids, maybe they're young. Maybe they don't need a full day in school. Maybe they just need a little bit of time in the school. Now we're taking away school time from the kids. And you say to yourself, oh, the school day is just getting shorter. Everything's getting shorter. No. The amount of daily total instructional time for the students will not change in core curricular areas. They are reducing classroom times for subjects outside the core areas like music, PE, and art.
The arts are going away as well as physical education.
Now you're not only shortening the school day, you are making kids hate it.
Yeah.
You are taking away. Do my kids get in the car every day? And the first thing I go, how was your day? and they go, we had music today.
Yes.
We had art today.
Yes.
We painted today.
Yes.
They don't go, you're not going to believe what numbers I learned to add up. Now, I'm not negating that. It's something you should have, but you should also have the fun stuff. You should have the outside core, because that's where kids discover who they are.
Absolutely.
The arts is how we get kids to grow and expand and have a passion for learning.
Yes.
I just think ever since we started incorporating punishing kids by taking away their fun and giving them more core, it's not improved.
No.
Do you realize when I first started teaching, we had just started the intensive reading, intensive math mandates in school for high school. So if you failed the FCAT, which was the Florida
I remember
test,
that was the big test.
you failed that in reading or math. You had to take intensive reading or math the next year. And by taking that, it was a full hour and a half out of their day. And we took away something else, an extracurricular.
So you could do that.
Yeah. And then we go, why are we having a higher dropout rate? Because they're not having fun. They're not enjoying learning.
That's right.
Now you're doubling down on the boring. And I'm not meaning to say your subject is boring if you teach intensive reading. I taught intensive reading. But I will say this, I would, if I was the kid, I wouldn't want to be intensive reading.
No.
I would want to be elsewhere.
That's right.
I would want to be doing fun things.
And let's not forget about the fact you said they were taking the time away also from physical education. And in this country, and I know a lot about this, we have a lot of morbidly obese kids.
Yeah.
And now you're telling them that they don't get more time to go out and actually be active. We're hurting our children by doing that, in my humble opinion.
Yep, and talk to the kids, because the kids, that's a big part of their day. Every time I talk to my children, they do describe what they do in class, absolutely. Yeah. But then they describe, oh, we played this game. We did this at recess. We had fun at PE.
Yes.
It's the socialization aspect that now we're kind of taking away from them. And then we wonder, why can't kids function in the real world?
Yeah.
Well, because
we talked about it.
We're punishing them by taking them out of real world scenarios.
Yeah.
I thought, wow, shorter day, great, less stress for teachers. Maybe parents get more time with the kids. Maybe the kids don't have to work as hard. But nope, just doubling down on the hard work. And that's not the way to go. I disagree. Extend the school day back. Give them back their arts, please.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I really hope parents use this time as so after school in my school for kids, you can sign them up for things. So after school, they have the option of taking basketball, pottery, chess. Parents, sign up your kids for the after school stuff.
Extracurricular activities.
Yeah, keep them going.
Always good for kids, though, by the way. All four of my kids did it.
Right. This one. Substitute teacher arrested at a middle school for bringing a gun on campus.
Jesus.
Yeah. Now, this is wild to me, okay? This is wild. It's absolutely terrible that this
To the
person,
middle school, Devin?
A middle school. Substitute teacher was arrested Friday after bringing their gun on campus. Apparently, this substitute teacher was booked on a charge of possessing a weapon in a prohibited place, third-degree felony. The kids apparently reported it. And you say to yourself, wow, how would the kids report it? They obviously must have seen this. Well, apparently this substitute teacher brought it on himself to conduct his own active shooter training without any authority to do so.
Oh, my God. With a real gun.
With a real gun? Dude, you're the active shooter.
Yes.
What are you doing? Why are you bringing a gun to a school and thinking you're the hero in this scenario?
Oh, my
Devin. It's one of those things where, we sit here and we go, well, it's okay if we reduce the qualifications to be a substitute. It's okay if we just hire directly. This is the result.
Yes.
This is it. You get rid of these ladders that they have to go through to have, a moral compass of, hey, should I bring a gun to school? No, you shouldn't. And should you conduct your own active shooter training? No, that's actually lesson 1 in stuff not to do as a teacher. I don't know if you took that general education exam, but
rule number 1, do not bring a gun. Rule number 2, don't bring a White Claw.
Yeah.
That's on there.
Yeah, as long as they don't get together, those people are good to go. All right, this last one. A teacher says the Atlanta system gives the students a way to cheat on tests. So apparently there's a program that gives these failing students a chance to graduate on time, and basically it gives them a second opportunity to do the class.
Okay.
We had this when I was teaching. I had students I was teaching economics and government. That is the last 2 half credits, they're half a year, that they need to graduate in the history track. Here's the thing. Some students were not doing well.
Okay.
They were clearly going to fail. They weren't there. They weren't turning in the work on time. Their grades were not reflecting well. They would notice this ahead of time. We'd have a meeting, and they say, okay, you're not passing economics, but you can pass economics. And the student goes, I'm all ears. And they say, so instead of showing up to his class, you take it online.
Oh.
And you do the online work.
Okay.
Now, a teacher has spoken out against this in the Atlanta school system because the kids are just cheating.
Yes.
And they just, they literally pull up a test. And our school, I really hated it, but we used to put the kids into computer labs. There was no supervision.
No.
You do your own work on your own time, and we think we're doing them a favor. Mm-hmm. We're not. We're just letting them cheat and not have to learn the material, not have to do the actual work, and they just get a pass. They get an easy pass, by the way, because they can literally just Google every question, every answer, and then pop in
one of them.
and then suddenly they've got an A. Wow, they are such a scholar.
There you go. You really turned that around, Timmy.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was complete crap, because there were students that wouldn't try.
No. And
were given this out. And this out was literally a softball pitch to them going, hit this, please. Now, we know you can't hit the fastball.
No.
We know you can't hit the changeup. So we're going to tee it up for you.
We're going to lob it up.
Yeah. And, you can't even hit that? Okay, well, we're just going to pick it up for you and throw it into the outfield.
Now, do they keep this program going at your school while you're still there?
Yeah. It's still going. It's grade recovery, when they're not doing well. I disagree with it. I've always disagreed with it. I've always spoken out about it. I hate it because of what the Atlanta teacher said. It gives them a way to cheat their way to a grade.
That's right.
Because they don't do it honest work. I've watched them. You say yourself, can't be every one of them. Yeah, it is. Because you have that temptation of opening another tab. You have a question in front of you. Mm-hmm. You don't know the answer. The answer is hiding behind a little plus sign at the top of your browser. What are you going to do? Who can fault them?
They're going to use that tab?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's not how life is. You don't get that plus tab when you don't know the answer at work.
No.
When you have to come up with problem solving skills. People think that teaching is just a bunch of memorization. It's the act of learning. It's the act of finding information. It's the act of discovery. Mm-hmm. And that's also why, unfortunately, we have a lot of misinformation online that goes undetected.
Yes.
Because there's no like secondary way of going, hey, you should look at this and you should verify it and you should look here as well and maybe do your own research.
Yes.
What's research? I don't know how to do research. Well, it's much more than opening up a tab and highlighting that question and Googling it.
And taking everything that they give you and just eating it like you've been spoon-fed. No, Go do some research yourself.
Yeah, you got to think for yourself.
Yeah.
And this is not teaching kids to think for themselves.
No, it's not.
Now, I have a funny story about this. So we did have the grade recovery thing in my school. I hated it. I was completely against it. Mm-hmm. Now, I had an ex who needed to graduate and take some online courses.
Okay.
This ex did the same thing. I spoke out against it.
Yeah.
I literally told him, I said, hey, what about reading the stuff?
Yeah.
And
hey,
actually doing the reading, learning it.
Yeah.
Then going in and answering the questions and seeing how well you were able to capture that information and think about it. Nope. She would open up tabs and just Google it. Just literally. And it was literally a highlighting of the question.
Copy.
Google
paste.
it. Look. And by the way, got a lot of questions wrong. Because
wait a minute.
Not only because people think that you can just type in the question and there's the answer. Sometimes the answer's not right there.
No, you have to read.
You have to read.
Yes.
Well, why read?
Why?
They would start to look. She would start to look for keywords and go, "Oh, that word's also there. That must be it." And I'm like, "No, actually, it says it's not that. So don't." And and it was one of those things where it was just a copy paste.
Well, okay. First off, shouldn't cheat. I mean, I know I sound very cliche when I say that, but you shouldn't cheat. And also, how hilarious is it that she needed to get a tutor to teach her how to cheat?
Yes,
because she couldn't do it.
Now, so she went on to her career.
Okay,
which she copied and pasted the questions and answers.
Mm-hmm.
And that career was in healthcare.
Oh, wow. Okay. Nothing could go wrong there.
I mean, I would love a doctor that was able to open up another tab.
How many milligrams in this medication?
Yeah. What's a milligram? Google it.
Google it.
What's the conversion? Oh, milligram.
Little Wayne says a milli.
Yeah. Milligram. It says that's how thick your vinyl's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Is that we're making a record?
Record? Yeah. We're about to set one.
Yeah. I always was like, I always said, if I were to be injured in an accident and I opened my eyes and saw her there, I would say, can I call my children first? I just want to talk to them one more time.
I just want to tell them one thing real quick. I swear to God, that's all I want to do.
Yeah, but I thought it was just wild that she would, actively look up these answers, and it's. But that's the thing is that's what we teach them.
That's right. We taught them to do that.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we handed her a certificate.
Yes, we
that
did.
says you did it. So she has no other, I did it.
Yeah, I got my certificate.
Yep. And we handed diplomas to all these kids that Googled the answers. They did it. And guess what? They walked and got the same exact diploma as the kid that actually did it.
Yes, right.
And there was no discrepancy. No, this one did it. What also, come on, we're going to put an asterisk next to Barry Bonds. Yeah, he's the home run leader, but we all know what you did.
Yeah. We know how you did it. Yeah.
We all know how it happened, And so, James, I decided this week to do another top 10 list.
Oh, I love these.
So here's a top 10 ways to tell your nurse cheated on their exam.
Oh, no.
Okay. The first one, number 10. She asks you to speak louder about your symptoms so Chat GPT can pick it up. It could talk a little. I can't. It's not giving me anything. Alexa. What's a lobotomy? No. Number 9, they keep gagging when they give you a shot.
Oh no!
Oh, it bleeds. Number 7. Number 8. They keep asking you to stop crying. They can't hear the YouTube video. Hold on 1 second. Can you cut me down? He's almost to the part that we save your life.
I'm bleeding out.
Bleeding out. How do you spell bleeding? E-A or E?
How many D's?
Yep. The next one, number 6. They put the blood pressure cuff around your neck. Wait, I don't think that... Says 0/0. That's weird.
Why are you blue?
All right, number 5. They think abscess is where they get to go outside and play. They're like, wait, abscess. Oh, it's time. Oh, the slide.
I call the swing.
Number 4. Let's see here. They refuse to do oncology because they want their time off. Deep on call. On call.
My
James,
time is my time.
I know. You're not going to interrupt me at home. Oncology. Okay, that was a deep joke.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, and you don't. I'll tell you right now. You don't come up with that joke by Googling it.
No, you
All
do
right.
not.
Number 4. Treatment takes forever because they're waiting for Reddit to respond. Hold on. He's typing. Come on. Just hang in there. Number 3. They think their patient is building a website when they hear they're coding. He's coding in the other room. I hear him typing.
It's awesome. I'm going to support him.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2. When you start asking questions, they hit the nurse button. We need help. Here. Are they not coming? Oh, that's me.
It's me. Oh, damn.
My bad. And number 1, when you start to recover, you hear them say, "No, it worked." Wow. You know what? Thumbs up on this video.
Hey, thanks, WebMD.
I'm giving that one a high five.
That's funny.
The funny thing is that I love that we did that today.
Yes.
Because one thing that I have heard for years of doing this comedy, I do teacher comedy.
Yes, you do.
I can't tell you how often I hear nurses chime in and go, "I follow you because it's the same."
Oh, wow.
It's the nurses is, if you think about it, teaching is a predominantly female career that is traditionally underappreciated because it's a predominantly female career.
Yes.
And it's not respected by the male overlords. Mm-hmm. Then you've got nursing. Nursing is also the same. It's very much talked down upon. You don't have to have the credentials. You don't have to do you don't have to do as much work. So they say, you're just a nurse.
And that's how they put it.
Yeah. So a lot of times when we do comedy shows, I get nurses that come up and go, I'm a nurse. I watch you because it's the same. Really? Same thing, going through the same stuff. During COVID, I was literally like putting out videos, and every 5 comments was a nurse going, oh my gosh, we're having to do this too. You know, especially when it came to things like talking about reducing the budgets and stuff.
Okay.
Cutting budgets, cutting, support and not having support. You know, you forget, but nurses have an admin too.
They sure do.
And
they sure do.
And a lot of times they deal with the same crud.
Here's my question. Nurses work the same amount of hours as teachers do, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Why? And hear me out.
Okay.
Because I've been thinking about this for a while, because I have 2 people in our immediate family that are in the medical profession. Nurses can sometimes work 12 to 16 hours, be on for that amount of time and be tired. And we talked about kids not being able to function when they're tired and lethargic. Why, when these people sometimes have patients' lives in their hands, why do we still base what they do off a model that was made a century ago, and they work like that?
I don't know.
Think about it. Like, why is that the norm for people in the medical industry like nurses? Why should you work like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't. If I had to take a guess, and I may be wrong, a lot of times patients, it takes a long time to deal with the patient, and they need to be there longer throughout the time, maybe to monitor it and stay on a little longer. But I don't want a nurse on her 10th hour.
She has to be exhausted.
Yeah, she has.
He or she has to be exhausted.
It's not saying you can't do the work. It's saying I don't think you should have to.
Yes,
I think there should be help. You know,
and if there's an answer out there, guys, I would love for you to answer it for me. Maybe I'm ignorant and I apologize ahead of time. I just don't know. But it's just a worthwhile question. Like, why do nurses still work that way? Yeah,
work that many hours. Would you work? But, I wonder if teachers would do that. Would teachers be okay working just a 4-day week at 12 hours a day and then having that extra day off? Yes, because you'd be cutting
back 12 hours.
Well, that's true because they work.
Think about it.
Typically, yes, they are working. And that's a complete side note, by the way, because people forget teachers are not getting paid during the summer.
They sure don't.
They're not contracted. But I'll tell you what, we went up to the school to pick up some stuff today. There's not supposed to be any teachers there. It's summer, packed teachers.
Really?
Yep. Setting up their room, cleaning up things, putting things away.
Wow.
They're not getting paid.
Nope.
They're up there still working for your children.
And you guys don't get paid when you go home and still work.
Yeah, you don't get paid.
No.
Yeah, people would often think that, but we were salaried just for our hourly time that we were actually working in the classroom.
That's right.
We were not paid for the off times, the summers. And some schools don't pay. Some schools have holdback where they take out your paycheck from the time when you actually are working and then give you the money later. And they give you it throughout the summer. And people think that's a summer check. It's not a summer check. That's the money we earn throughout the year.
I work for this money.
That's already been held.
That's right.
Which, by the way, they hold it. Do they give you the interest that they get for holding it for 9 months, holding millions of dollars?
No,
we don't get any of that. But all you got to do is throw it into a 4% interest account.
There you go.
You hold it for 8 months, and then you've got quite a good penny of change that you can.
There you go.
Yeah, but who am I?
Yeah.
So, anyways, all right. So nurses. We appreciate you. We appreciate everything you do. I appreciate all the nurses that chime in all the time. And please, nurses, don't cheat on your exam.
Please.
I'm not talking about you. If you're a good nurse, you're awesome. But we do worry about the ones that are copy pasting. We need to create, obviously, better school environments where they don't have to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, James, how can people find you?
Please, you guys can watch me on Xfinity Comcast Channel Afro, Channel 1623, on my late night talk show called The Lowdown, starring me, James Yon. And as always, you can catch me at IG at James Yon Comedian. That's YON. And thank you guys for continuously following me, all you teachers. I appreciate it.
Yep, devincomedy.com for all my upcoming tour dates. If you need me for a speaking engagement, be sure to reach out. You can reach out on any of my socials and send me a message. I'll put you in contact with the powers that be.
There you go.
And obviously, thank you again for listening to the podcast. Don't forget that 5-star rating. We really want to boost those 5-star ratings. Share it with your friends. Comment below. Engagement. Let us know what you're feeling. Right now, we're having record numbers. We're so appreciative of all the people that are listening, watching, sharing, and laughing with us. So thanks again. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode of Crying in My Car, podcast for teachers. There might be a clip up there. There might be a clip down there. If it's got our face, if it's other people's stuff, come back. Don't click on that. But us. Suggested things. That's us. Crying in My Car. Devin, Siebold, James, Jan, board teachers. Watch. New trailer for Indiana Jones. No, don't do that. Don't do that.